Hey there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem, which I'm combining with Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This is Series 11 and we have 31 exclusive sketches. Today's Mixed Media Mayhem recipe involves watercolor, stencil, and gold. And this is the sketch for today's 30 Days of Sketches, and that is by Debbie Barton. So I'm starting out with a 12 by 12 pad of watercolor paper. I have gone into my silhouette and created my own stencil. This is Santa Cruz Island, which is off the coast of Santa Barbara. It's the largest of the Channel Islands. And so I am actually making a cover page for my album. So it's like the first page in the album. And so it's not going to have any photos on it, but I am going to go ahead and use a couple of things off of Debbie's sketch there. She's got these lines in the background, and I'm not sure if her intention was mixed media or some torn paper or what, but it kind of reminded me of a geode. I don't have a geode that I'm going to create today, but as I was going through my album, I did see a topographical map of the island and the ocean, or the ground beneath the ocean, layered up next to it, and it had like these blue and white gradient tints for the different depths as they expanded out from the island. And so I took that as my inspiration for my colors, and I am just creating that same kind of effect, which is going to give me the very effect that Debbie has on her sketch. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense as I create it. I think it will help you to understand what I am talking about. And it also meets the criteria for Mixed Media Mayhem, which was to use some watercolor. The watercolors that I'm using today are from Daniel Smith, and I'm using a couple of different blues from two of his packs. If you're interested to know more about that, I will put the link to the two different packs that I have down below. One of them has a little bit of sparkle in it, and then the other one is just a plain blue. And I want my layers, or my each time I go around the sketch or the outline here, to be a little lighter and a little lighter each time, to get those kind of wavy crossover lines that kind of look like a topographical map, or a little bit like Debbie's sketch. So all I did was I cut the image on my silhouette, and then I took the outline of it and traced it with a pencil, and that's how I knew exactly where to create these lines. I really do like the way that this ends up looking. The 12 by 12 watercolor paper that I got is from Fluid Watercolor. It's called Fluid Watercolor paper, and it is found on Amazon. I can put a link down below for you if you're interested in that as well. It does come as a brick, so two of the sides are bound, so it doesn't warp or anything like that. I really like the way that this ends up looking. So I'm getting that effect. I'm ignoring the photos completely on the sketch. She does have this star embellishment down at the bottom, and it looked like some fiber or some kind of like 3 strands of something coming out from the stars, like it was holding it on the actual layout. And so I am going to use some gold thread, which was another one of the requirements of Mixed Media Mayhem. So it was watercolor, a stencil, and gold. And so I'm going to get my gold effect that way. I am also going to do a bit of stitching all the way around the outside of the layout with some gold thread to finish it off. The piece that I am watercoloring up here is it's basically a image from the Jason project, and that is what we were studying at Santa Cruz Island. So I took their logo. It's not actually the logo that they had when we actually did the Jason project, but this is their newer logo, and I really liked it, so I thought I'll go ahead and use that. And I actually cut it 3 times. The top layer I am just using watercolor to give it a dark blue effect, and the other 2 layers are going to be white, and that's just going to allow me to layer those 3 up to give added dimension to my title. I did go around and erase the pencil marks from the watercolor or from around the island image, and I am going to go around that with a gold pen as well. So I'm going to add a little bit more gold to this layout. And I don't think I make you sit through me weeding out everything here, but I did want you to be able to see that I just pulled these right off my mat, and I am gluing them layer to layer with the blue being on the top. It's a great way to get a little added dimension and create like your own faux thicker type of or foam sticker. So that is the logo. I really like the way that this came out. It's I don't know, and I sized it so it fits right inside the main body of the island, like the largest portion. So it's not going to get lost on the page or anything because it's going to be surrounded by that white. I'm using a gold Kaisercraft metallic pen to just ink around the entire island here and create that outline that I had done with the pencil. I didn't want to do that ahead of time in case my ink smeared it all when it got wet, and honestly I didn't really think about it a whole lot in advance. I thought I would just erase the pencil, but then when the pencil was gone, there were a couple of spots that I couldn't erase because the watercolor was right over the top of it. So here's my gold thread. I'm going to go ahead and create a line of glue right at the top of where it says project, and I'm going to lay 3 strands of this gold down and cut it free from the spool there so that I'll have 3 strands coming out each side. And it'll look kind of like the title is being held up by those 3 strands, even though we all know it's glued to the paper. So while I get that all glued down and those strands kind of situated where they're supposed to be, I just want to take a moment to remind you Mixed Media Mayhem happens every Friday. There's a group of us that uses primarily recipes. Sometimes we do a scrap lift to create a mixed media layout, so you can go and check that out every Friday. We also have a Facebook group for people who are interested in mixed media, and we invite those people in the Facebook group to play along on the last Friday of the month every month. Sometimes it's a recipe, other times it is a scrap lift, but go and check that out. I'll put the link down below for you so that you can find the group easily. And then 30 Days of Sketches, there are a bunch of people playing along. This 30 Days has gotten so big. There is a playlist so that you can go and check that out. It's just became too much to keep track of everybody's links. So we can just add our videos to a playlist, and that makes it a lot easier for everyone. So that is down below for you as well. Now I'm just using my slice tool to go ahead, which is it's a ceramic blade, to just go ahead and remove the paper from the block of watercolor paper. I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off all the way around this paper. I can't take a whole lot from the sides because the size that I made the island stencil was a little bit large, and so I'm only taking 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to allow this tiny bit of navy blue from this Heidi Swapp paper to show, and I really like the way that that looks. Now I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of my layout, and that's going to hold those strings in place, or the thread. And what I'm doing here is I'm just untangling them. They weren't tangled a lot, they just were twisted as they got close to the actual title there, and I didn't want them to look like they were overlapping each other. And then the adhesive is just kind of holding them in place until I get the whole thing stuck down to the additional piece of paper that is going to back the whole layout. I'm calling it a layout. There's no photos on it, but this is the opening page. I'm also not putting a date on it because the second page in the album says that it's summer 2006, I believe. No, 2007. No, 2006. Summer 2006 that we did this. So I think it's going to look great, and I'm really excited to have this portion done in my album. I will be working on this album quite a bit this month, and I've been using it for my Make It a Mini Monday series that I'm doing with MK, because I have a lot of pocket pages, and those are the perfect pages to use for Make It a Mini Monday. Anything smaller than a 12 by 12 works, but working on getting those pocket pages done has been helping me to accomplish quite a bit in this album. So I'm really excited about that. There it is, you guys. That is pretty much it. I'm going to add a little bit of gold Heidi Swapp Color Shine just diagonally across the title here. And that's all I did for this. Hopefully it's in the spirit of the background of the sketch, along with that star piece and the strings going out from it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I really appreciate the time that you spent with me today, and I would love it if you give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe as well. See you soon. Bye-bye.